July is my birthday month, so I thought for my birthday month I would share with you some of my favorite foodie things. And to start things off, my favorite foodie movie is, because we have it, of course, on Amazon and it's streaming. I don't have a DVD to hold. What a world we have changed into, right? Julie and Julia. Whenever I need to get in the mood to cook, or I'm creating new recipes or something like that. I love to cook, don't get me wrong, but sometimes we need to just, I don't know, watch something inspiring. So Julie and Julia, which one of my favorite foodie movies. And then for books, I love to read. So first of all, shameless plug. Of course, I love the book that I was co-author. It's called But I'm Hungry, 2 Steps to Losing the Weight for Good. And I wrote all of the recipes. I created all the recipes and wrote all the menus in here, did all the fact checking to double check my co-author, since she's more of a writer than a scientist. And then I also got to do dietitian diaries throughout, kind of my little tips and tricks. So, But I'm Hungry, that's available on Amazon. My other 2 favorite books are Upton Sinclair's The Jungle Classic. If anybody is interested in, it's more historical fiction, but it is the book that created the commentary that started the USDA. So really takes a look at Chicago and the meatpacking plants. And it talks, even more now, we think about immigration and how that has to do with food, but super weird in the sense of gross to see the slaughterhouses and how they used to be, but it's a really great book. So The Jungle by Upton Sinclair, recommend it for everybody. A lot of people end up having to read it in high school. I was really interested in it, so I read it for the first time when I was in middle school. Cancer Hates Tea is my favorite. The book is beautiful. It talks about tea and science behind tea, and why tea can be beneficial for our health, but it also breaks down all the different kind of teas and how to brew them and where they come from and how to pick them and what they're going to taste like. And it's by a woman, Maria, who actually owns a tea shop in Colorado. It's called The Tea Spot, and you can order online from their store. But I had the joy of meeting her several years ago at a tea expo, and she's a wonderful person. She survived cancer, and it does specifically say in here, tea isn't the end all be all to saving us from cancer, but it can be one of the many things we can do to help prevent cancer and then have good survival. So anyways, love this book. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful book. So, and of course she signed it for me. She gave it to me when I was there. That reminds me, I am not paid by any of these sponsors, except for, and only if you order, my favorite line for vitamins and minerals is Pure Essence Labs. I'm an ambassador of theirs, so the only way I would get paid is if you order from them. So I guess I am, but I'm not paid by them. And then if you do order online and you have a code that you get to put in, it's Petrello. It's my last name. So PETRELLO is your savings code, and it's 20% off. So, but what I really like about it is the brand itself believes in the East meets West type of medicine. So there's vitamins and minerals, but there is wonderful herbs in there that we know will help with different phases of our life. So this one's my husband's, the one and only for men, and then they have one and only above the age of 4. They have some supplements for above certain ages. They have wonderful probiotics. So this is the brand that, if anybody asks me, since I am a dietitian, they're like, what brand do you go for first? This is the brand I go for when it comes to multivitamins, probiotics, and they have some great targeted type of supplements that are all available over the counter and on their website. So Pure Essence Labs. All right. Then we have my favorite coffee. This is actually Christmas coffee we still have around, but you can see it is, we go through the coffee so fast, I actually realized we usually love the hazelnut coffee from Magnum Coffee. They're based originally out of Michigan, but we have one of the only other roasters here in town in Las Vegas. So they're right by the airport, which is fun. So whenever I'm going on that side of town, I make it a point to go and take that trip and buy some Magnum coffee. So they have delicious hazelnut coffees. All their coffees are good, of course. This was one for around Christmas, the Danish pastry. And then they also have, what was really neat for Christmas, I was able to buy some of my friends, they have the pods for the K-Cups in all different flavors. So kind of like the 12 days of Christmas, but in K-Cups in different flavors. And then I love tea, as you've probably picked up, besides coffee. But a really good before bedtime type of tea. I don't know, maybe I just haven't had a chamomile that I really love. But I really like, instead of a pre-bedtime decaf of, not having any caffeine, of chamomile or something, I really like just over the counter Bigelow Constant Comment decaf. So it's got this orange type of flavor to it, and it's got, orange rind and sweet spice. The one thing I do caution about this is when you get it, don't let it sit for too long in the hot water. When it, says just a couple minutes or so, you really don't want to set it longer than that, because I have found that teas that come in bags have a tendency to get bitter really fast. So you don't want to just leave the bag in there while you're sipping it. Just do the 2 to 3 minutes and take the bag out so it's a little bit smoother. I don't put sugar in it because it defeats the purpose of being a pre-bedtime kind of thing. But I really enjoy that tea. So let's see, what are some other things that I really like? If you are coming to Las Vegas, it is by the Orleans Casino. It's called the International Food Market. It's awesome. I have to caution you, they are closed 1 day a week, so I would make sure and they have interesting, more like, I call them bankers hours, right? They close early in the evening. And so here's my cat. She decided to join us. This is Shadow. Do you like to eat food? She goes, yes. Sometimes when we're making fish, she'll dive in for some salmon. But she's gotten so old and just crotchety that she doesn't really do that anymore. She just hangs out. All right, sweetheart. So that's the international market. And then when it comes to food, so on the Strip, it's technically on the Strip, my favorite restaurant is the Golden Steer, and it's right off of Las Vegas Boulevard in Sahara, and it has the most amazing history. So you'll see pictures all around about where Joe DiMaggio would sit versus when, him and Marilyn Monroe broke up, where Marilyn Monroe would sit, and where Elvis's main seat was. And it was, the really neat thing about it was the only place in town that would allow African Americans to come in. So they made it a point, Frank Sinatra, the story is at least, Frank Sinatra made it a point that after the Rat Pack would all do their shows and things like that, they would actually specifically go to the Golden Steer so that Sammy Davis could hang out with them. And I just think that's awesome. You can tell that the place is old when you go in, and if you ask the people who work there, some of them you can tell it looks like they've worked there since Elvis has been there. They'll tell you some of the stories about how the mob would come in and where they would sit and how they'd be able to get out without being noticed. And it's just a really neat place. So the Golden Steer, right off of Las Vegas Boulevard and Sahara. And then if you're going to dine off Strip, there are some amazing restaurants off Strip that I really love. If you're going more for like a family meal and your kids want pizza and stuff like that, but you kind of want some really good Italian, Giuseppe's. So Giuseppe's and the Boulevard are two places. The Boulevard is right by the South Point Hotel, and Giuseppe's is a little bit, it's further north. So off if you were here, it's off the 215, but it's called Giuseppe's. They have an amazing bolognese pasta to die for, like my favorite of all time. And then also, of course, they have really great pizza. So that's a great thing for the kids. And then another really great off-strip steak place is called Bob Taylor's Ranch House. And they have amazing steaks. And then they have these specialty house potatoes that are just they're amazing. But you can tell the story is behind that is that, you know, Bob Taylor's ranch house, it was a ranch house at one point, and they had a ranch, and it was really far out in the desert. It's now just a community's built up around it. But way back when, the story is when the mob was in Las Vegas, that if you got a dinner at Bob Taylor's ranch house, it was probably your last meal. So I think that's really interesting about the place. But besides that, the food is phenomenal. So we got Bob Taylor's Ranch House for off the strip, and Giuseppe's, and a place called the Boulevard. And then for on the strip, of course, the Golden Steer. So those are my favorite restaurants for families. And then let's see what else. Menu planning. So I plan my own menus. I'm a dietitian. That's what I do. That's what I love to do. But I know most people don't. So I'm in the process, more news to come, of creating a awesome meal planning program to be available. We're going to make it available on Etsy at first. Just they're going to be printables. You just print them out, and then we will go from there. But it's going to be under the name, same as the YouTube channel, of Your Family Menu. So anyways, if you are finding my videos interesting, helpful, any of that, you just like to see what's coming next, please subscribe, and that would be a great honor to me, and I really hope to bring you really great information soon. I look forward to it. Thanks so much. Have a great day.